Hope everybody has sat down, grabbed a pen and pad. We are going to talk about how we can leverage Amazon today. And I have Sam Borgstad on the live with me. Me and Sam have been talking about this for a few weeks now, maybe almost a few months, at least a couple months. We have talked back and forth about this, and he has a wealth of knowledge. He has had his own success on Amazon, and he's going to tell us all about that. And go ahead, tell us about you. Tell us what we got going on today, and let's dive all the way in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Corner to Corner, for having me. I've never been live before, so this is an exciting first for me. So,
hey, well, one thing we're going to do is get you live. That's for sure.
Yeah, perfect. We'll see how it goes. It's not rehearsed, so hopefully we don't have too many stumbling blocks. So I'll throw a presentation up on the screen and we can jump into it. So let me know, Jaron, if this is going to work.
Yep.
Okay.
You are rolling.
Sweet. So Jaron mentioned my name is Sam. I live here in town in East Nashville, and have been working in retail my entire career, and we'll get into that in a second, but on Amazon specifically the last 5 years. As Jaron mentioned, if you have questions on specific topics as they come through, shoot them in the chat and Jaron will interrupt me and we can dig deeper into them. There's a lot of information here, and I'm going to move pretty quickly through it. And it's also going to be a little bit at a high level. I want to give you guys a great overview of Amazon, how to get set up, the right questions you need to be asking if you're thinking about taking a business, a product that you sell. Maybe you have Shopify set up for your direct to consumer and you want to get onto Amazon. This is the first overview, the first step. So my email, my phone number are here. Please, after this, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. Would love to meet up in person. I work remote, so I'm always happy to go meet up in person if you want to get coffee or lunch and talk more about how Amazon could be something you can leverage. So let me flip quickly then.
Hey, Sam, before you talk about the agenda, to all those that are watching and those who are going to watch the replay, make sure you take advantage is the wrong word, but Sam gave you his email and phone number. So he is, obviously willing and ready to help you to set up on Amazon. And most of you, if not all of you, including myself, we use Amazon probably once a week. I know here at Corner to Corner, we have packages coming almost every day, especially around party month. So utilize Amazon. It is obviously a vital tool on the e-commerce side of the house in selling your products. So I just wanted to emphasize that, but go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, thanks, Sharon. Okay, so we're going to break today into three buckets, three big buckets. The first is going to be titled Why Amazon, and we're going to talk about Amazon as a platform and why it could be advantageous for you and your brand. We're going to get into the second section, which is what are the back-end operations that you need to understand to make an intelligent decision that's going to allow you to scale the business. That's operations and financial. And then we're going to get into the fun stuff, which is brand building and demand generation. So before we get into it, though, my background, super quick intro. I'm from Arkansas, grew up in Fayetteville, went to college in Fayetteville. And so I'm a Razorback. Also an honorary Vols fan this year. I'm on the bandwagon and I'm hoping that they can win a national championship for the state of Tennessee. I started my career at the Walmart headquarters, which is in Northwest Arkansas, and then spent some time as a finance program, but I spent time in Bentonville and also out in San Francisco working for their .com office out there. After that 2-year period, I helped get an agency off the ground that was specializing in e-commerce. Now we're kind of a total retail agency, and we specialize in mass market platforms. So Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, Costco, Target. I mean, any mass market that's not anything that's not direct consumer. Our agency, One Stone, is touching. That's the company I'm currently with still. And we started, with 4 or 5 people 5 years ago. We have 60, 70 people spread out between our office in Northwest Arkansas and our office in Denver. And more about that. I mean, I'll link a bunch of things, resources that are more detail afterwards. I'll include a link to the website. My wife and I own a bath and body products company, Sunridge Essentials, that we run direct to consumer. I'm actually in the process of setting that up on Amazon as well to get some Amazon traction there. And then I also have a small brand consultancy that is specializing in helping small brands that are post-product launch, but pre-retail or pre-retail scale, called Mingo. And like I said, I live here in town in East Nashville. So been in the retail space since I graduated college and been in the e-com space for the majority of that time.
Very cool.
All right, let's get into content. And I'm going to roll through. I'm going to try and get through this first section pretty quickly because I'm saying things that probably won't be surprising, but I'm going to put some numbers to it. So why Amazon? Why is Amazon something that you should think about? A lot of times a question that I get is, you know, I have a direct consumer. I make more money on my direct consumer. I have control over the consumer experience. I get the customer information. All of that is true and is amazing, and you should continue doing that. We recommend, you know, trying to create a holistic and consistent brand experience across every touch point with the consumer, your direct consumer being a major part of that. Amazon can seem daunting because it's putting your product on another retailer's platform, and there's some unknowns that certainly come with that. We're going to get into kind of the two worlds that you can operate within Amazon and what control you maintain. Interesting though, here looking at Amazon, if you think about mass market share, excluding direct consumer platforms, Shopify or WooCommerce, this is just mass market. Who owns the majority of e-commerce shopping in America right now? It's Amazon. By a wide margin, about 39% of all e-commerce shopping for mass market retailers is happening on Amazon. A very distant second is Walmart at like 6% of the market. So the place to be, the place where consumers are shopping is Amazon.
Hey, Sam, so
yeah.
So it sounds like if the first place somebody would want to go if they're trying to get into, I guess, mass market. I know a lot of us, we want to get in certain big box stores, which is good, but seems like Amazon needs to be the first place. But I mean, I guess it depends on your market, target market. Well, Amazon is everybody's target market, it seems like.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And the great thing about Amazon, we'll talk about the difference between first party and third party marketplaces, where I think a lot of us will probably live with the brands that we're operating. You can set up a third party marketplace account in an hour and you can put your products out on Amazon's site that quickly. And so it is a great step. And then if you are thinking about big box retail, I mean, if you're thinking about Walmart or Target or, you know, Home Depot, those retailers now, the buyers at those retailers are looking to Amazon to say, do you have a big Amazon business? Do you have an Amazon presence? Do you have a bunch of 5-star reviews, a bunch of purchases? You know, can I see that you're a legitimate product and brand? So, I mean, you think about the future scale, if you wanted to go into mass market, you know, brick and mortar retail, all of those people are looking to Amazon to see, are you legitimate or you know, someone that we want to bring in house. So that's another reason that's a good place to start.
That's awesome.
A couple other stats for you, just real quick, about the scale of Amazon. There are 2 million individual searches, individual keywords that are searched. There are many more million searches every week, but 2 million keywords are searched on Amazon every week. Last year, there were less people who put up a Christmas tree than there are Prime members in the country. There are more Prime members than people who put Christmas trees up. And then something that I think is important as you think about, you know, kind of getting into a world where you're putting your product on someone else's platform. One of Amazon's key principles, founding principles, is that they are obsessed with the consumer. You've probably heard that before. If you've read, you know, any of the books about Jeff Bezos or the beginning of Amazon. And that's true. And so a comfort usually that brands find is Amazon, even though it's going through their platform, they care about the consumer experience. You as the brand owner, you also are obsessed with the consumer experience. So they want the product to arrive to the consumer quick. I mean, you know, we all have Amazon packages showing up, you know, within hours of us ordering them. They want it to not be damaged. They want it to be the right experience and not misleading online. And so there can be a lot of shared goal between how Amazon operates and how you care about your product as well. We'll talk more about brand building here in a second. Okay, so last thing then before we get into some of the details, I want to take a second and distinguish direct to consumer and Amazon and why we think about them a little bit differently. So I've attached a very traditional marketing funnel here on the right. Upper funnel is awareness generation that leads to interest. Interest leads to consideration, which hopefully is leading to conversion or action or purchase. And then you have the lower funnel, which is retention. That's your email campaigns, that's your loyalty programs, getting people in your ecosystem and keeping them in your ecosystem because you have an amazing product. When you're marketing on direct consumer, which I'm assuming a lot of you who have a brand started with a Shopify account, and you started with Google, and you started with Facebook ads or promoting posts on Instagram, amazing place to start. Really important demand generation and awareness tactic to implement, but that you are starting at the very top of the funnel. So you are convincing someone who has gotten on their phone to turn their mind off and scroll through Instagram that your product is interesting enough, your ad is pretty enough that they need to click through and learn about your product, and then hopefully decide they want to buy it. Same thing with Google. Maybe someone's curious and they're searching something, and you're trying to put a Google ad in front of them and engage enough interest for them to purchase. Amazon's different. Amazon starts lower down the funnel. The beginning of Amazon advertising is about halfway down the traditional marketing funnel. Why is that? It's because people have their credit cards out when they're on Amazon. They're not on Amazon just to scroll mindlessly. They're on Amazon because they're searching for paintbrush, because they need to buy a paintbrush. So the consumer intent is already there. What Amazon has done is given you a platform of consumers, 2 million plus searches a week of people looking to buy something. Now all we have to do is put a perfect product in front of them, and they're going to buy it. It's formulaic. It can absolutely be done. An interesting stat here is that over half of all product searches, people trying to learn about a product, are happening on Amazon first. Before people are going to Google, they're going to Amazon to look up a product. They see liquid death on the shelf and they're like, what's liquid death about? They're not Googling liquid death. They're going to Amazon and searching liquid death. And then they're reading reviews from consumers on liquid death products to learn about the product. And then maybe that leads them to the direct consumer. Maybe it leads them to go purchase it on the shelf at Target. Maybe they just buy it there on Amazon, but there is most of the product research being done on Amazon.
So it sounds like Amazon does some of the work for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they put the platform together, and they have, people who are there to shop and buy, and they have a delivery promise of, 1 or 2 days, and all you have to do is put your product in front of the consumers who are searching for keywords that are relevant to you.
Exactly.
All right, let's keep rolling. I'm going to get into now some of the. It's really important, but it can be a little boring, and so it's the work that you need to do to set up your account and your brand to scale efficiently in the future. If you don't get these things right in the beginning, Amazon is never going to be a viable option for your growth of your company in the future. Two of the things we're going to spend a lot of time on are operations and finances. So first, I wanted to throw a quick timeline on the screen just so everyone can kind of orient, if you're thinking about starting an account, maybe you have an account already. And so hopefully you'll get some optimization things out of this. Maybe you don't have an account, and this will kind of help you think through what are the steps before, I'm really maintaining and growing an Amazon business. So the first one is account setup. I don't have any details. I didn't include any details on setting up the account. I have videos that I'll link and Jaron can send out afterwards, and kind of a resource list that's kind of step-by-step. Here's how you set up an account, the information you're going to need to input, and all of those things. That information is out there. Establish brand registry as part of this. Brand registry quickly is proof that you're the brand owner and the manufacturer. So if you have your products that have UPCs on them that are registered through GS1, then you're eligible for brand registry, which just tells Amazon that you are the brand owner and the manufacturer of the product. Once you get the account set up, there's a key decision point and work that's going to go into the decision point. That is, how are you going to get the product to the consumer? Is it going to be through your own fulfillment, which is called Fulfilled by Merchant? Is it going to be using Amazon fulfillment services called Fulfilled by Amazon, FBA? There are financial implications and operational implications there that we'll talk about. that you need to work through that are going to lead you to the point where you can say, okay, my account is set up and I know operationally I'm going to be able to sell FBA, and that's how I'm going to go to market. And then from there, we can actually load our products. And this is where it starts to get a little more fun. You've got products that you're loading into Seller Central, into your catalog. You're working through search engine optimized written copy, visual assets that are helping the consumer shop, branded assets, like videos on your product detail pages. You're putting variations together that are intelligent, for the consumer shopping experience, and you're ready to start shipping products. So your product is online and you are ready for a consumer order to come in. From there, you can start thinking about the brand building tactics, and we'll get a little more into this, but it's, what Amazon is doing a pretty good job of trying to give more control over to the brand to create a brand experience. Even though you're not on your own direct consumer site, you're on another retailer site, but they are trying to put the keys in your hand to say, I'm going to tell my brand story. I'm going to bring consumers into my brand, and they're going to understand who my brand is amidst all these other brands that are out on Amazon currently. And then last, demand generation, everything set up, listings completely optimized, brand building done. Now we got to drive eyeballs, and we got to get the flywheel turning. That concept of the flywheel, when we think about products, and this will continue to be a thread you'll see through the presentation, is if you just put a listing up, if you just put an item online, if I want to sell, Liquid Death is my brand, and I want to put this can of water on Amazon, what you're going to find immediately is if you search Liquid Death can of water, it's probably not going to come up. Amazon is built on search and sales relevancy, and this concept of the flywheel that we have to get turning. The biggest thing that's going to drive organic search ranks, so your item showing up in search at the top of the first page, is going to be the amount of times your item has been sold. That's sales frequency. We can jumpstart this process through demand generation tactics, on-site advertising. That's all pay-per-click, similar to Google Ads. It was built off the same system. We drive visibility. When someone searches for canned water, we can pay to have our product at the top of search. We get a click, we get a glance view, we get a purchase, we get a review, and now the flywheel's turning, and now our product is moving up an organic search rank. Now we have more glance views, now we have more clicks, now we have more purchases, and we have more reviews, and that flywheel turns and turns and turns. Your product is now at the top of search. When someone searches a category term like canned water, we don't even have to pay to get our item there anymore. It's there because we have done the work to gain relevancy within Amazon's algorithm that's putting product in front of consumers who are searching for your products.
Hey Sam, two questions here. Are you going to get into the difference between FBA and FBM?
Absolutely.
Okay, and so we'll get to that. And can you again, I might have missed it, but it's exciting to me. How do you get at the top of the list again? It sounds like almost SEO type of.
Yes, SEO is absolutely part of the puzzle. We need to make sure we're checking that SEO box with, and I'll show a picture of a optimized product detail page here in a second. And you'll see we have opportunities in the title, the bullets, the description to implement those SEO keywords. And then in addition to the SEO, we also are driving our products in search with pay-per-click advertising through Amazon advertising services. That's what is superseding everything else in search to put our product at the top or at a branded banner or a brand video. And we'll talk a little more about that in detail. I'll show some examples so you can see where those show up on the page.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Well, great segue. So just real quick to set the stage, the world that we're walking into, the Amazon world, is divided into two selling channels. One is first party and one is third party. So Amazon first party, just so you know what it is, it's an invitation only relationship with Amazon, similar to any other wholesale relationship with a retailer. It's run through purchase orders where Amazon will send a purchase order for some number of products. They will purchase it at the wholesale cost. So the brand's revenue is your wholesale cost. They take ownership of the product, and then they're responsible for setting the retail price. We can guide them, but they set retail price, and then they own fulfillment, and they own, the customer experience from there, from a shipping and returns perspective. We still own the brand, and we still own our ability to create the branded assets, to create the brand experience, to advertise, to promote the product. We can do all those things, but Amazon owns the actual inventory, and they're fulfilling that inventory, just like any other wholesaler agreement. This program is for pretty large brands. So some of the brands we work with are $50-60 million on Amazon. Those are the brands that have first party relationships. The smallest brand we work with that has a first party relationship is doing 5 million on Amazon this year. And they're pretty small. And Amazon is kind of shrinking this Amazon retail as a percent of their business. I'll include a visualization of Amazon's P&L, and you can see how much of a loss leader the retail business is for the Amazon corporation. It's because they're shipping items that are inexpensive, but they have to pay a lot in shipping. So that's Amazon first party. We're going to focus on Amazon Marketplace third party, though. Like I mentioned, anybody can set up Amazon Marketplace. A Seller Central account is what it's called. Seller Central is the portal, and start selling your products.
Hey Sam,
yeah.
Before you go into Amazon Marketplace, which is probably the most important for our market here. So the invitation only part, I just want to go back to that.
Yeah.
Is that literally like Amazon will reach out to you and say, hey, we need your products, or is it like you get into a certain, community and you can get access to that?
It's the first that you mentioned. Literally, the Amazon retail team will reach out and say, we see that you have significant market share in, the soap category. We want to bring you in-house and start selling your product first party. And you can tell something is a first party item if you're on the Amazon product detail page. Under the buy box where you click add to cart, you'll see who it's shipped and sold by. So if it's shipped and sold by Amazon, that means it's a first party item. And that's an easy way to tell. Big brands, big CPG brands you would expect, most all of them are in first party relationships with Amazon.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
But Amazon continues to invest and grow the marketplace. And you'll see there's a fee structure involved where they are certainly making some money on marketplace items without having to do as much work for the marketplace items. So it's a more profitable model for Amazon, but it also allows us to go set up our accounts and sell our product and get in front of Amazon's consumers quickly and relatively easily. So it's open to anybody. I would recommend a professional selling account. I'll link details to that. It's part of the account setup process. But if you're going to sell more than 30 products a month, you should be doing a professional account, not a personal account. I mean, I could set up a personal account, and if I wanted to sell if I was buying and reselling tennis shoes, I could do that. But I would recommend, if you're a business, if you're an LLC, set up a professional account. In a third party relationship, you own the inventory until the consumer purchases it. Your revenue is your price, your retail price, and you get to set and maintain control over that retail price. There's not the retailer is not dictating what your price is. We'll talk about the 2 fulfillment methods I mentioned. That's the next slide where I get into some more detail on that operationally and financially. But you can fulfill them. You can fulfill orders yourself, or you can use Amazon as a 3PL and they'll fulfill orders for you. And we still have, again, control over the brand building, the content, the listings that we're creating, and the marketing and promotion activity. All right, difference between FBM and FBA. Important to understand here, because this is one of the key decision points, is how I'm going to sell products. So fulfilled by merchant looks a lot like your direct consumer. If you're selling direct consumer already, you're probably set up to do fulfilled by merchant. Same deal, except you're not using Shopify, you're using Seller Central. There is a Shopify integration that you can integrate your store directly into Seller Central. Makes item setup really easy, makes your shipping preferences really easy to set. Again, I'll link details to that. It's a great functionality, though, to get up and running really quickly. Consumer orders, they pay for the product, they pay for shipping, whatever you dictate they need to pay for shipping. You fulfill the order individually to their house and you pay for the cost of shipping. Difference here is you're not going to be prime. There's seller fulfilled prime, but it's kind of outside of scope for a lot of brands. It's too stringent, too easy to get shut down. So you're not having prime badging, but you're up and you're selling, and it probably looks a lot like your operational setup does currently for your Shopify. FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. This is Amazon's fulfillment services. It looks a little different operationally. It's under a consignment model, which is not really the correct term, but it gets, it helps you understand that you are shipping inventory to Amazon. You maintain ownership, but you're shipping inventory to their fulfillment centers. They will then disperse your inventory across the country to various fulfillment centers. And then when an order comes in, Amazon is responsible for fulfilling the order. They also manage returns and conversations with the consumer as needed. But there's something great about FBA, which we are automatically eligible for Prime. So we'll have a Prime badge. It'll be eligible for the 2-day shipping promise, everything, which is a big win, especially on Amazon. When you think about the number of Prime members that are 90 million, and then the number of people who are shopping, some of them are shopping by clicking only show me Prime offers. I don't even want to see offers where I might have to pay for shipping because people are so used to not paying for shipping. Operationally, we're not talking about individual order coming in, individual shipment going out to a consumer's home. You're now talking about an inventory management system where you are maintaining inventory levels at Amazon's fulfillment centers by shipping in cases of your product, or hopefully eventually pallets of your product. And at first, you're going to have to ship in smaller shipments. You're going to have to ship in a case of 6 4 times a week, because you're gaining relevancy in Amazon's, shipment algorithm and the space that you're allocated within their fulfillment centers. The goal, though, is that you're shipping in a pallet of product once a month. There's some benefits to using FBA because you get to ship to Amazon using Amazon's fulfillment rates or their shipment rates with the carriers. With UPS, for example, it's going to be a lot cheaper than whatever you'd be able to ship yourself. And so there's some efficiencies there. So, you think about your operations now. Do you have a setup in place where you can do that, where you can put cases together of product and ship them out the door to an Amazon fulfillment center? There's some additional labeling that's required, some details, again, that we'll link afterwards. Okay, now let's get into finances before I go any further in that. Any questions there, Jaron, on ops stuff?
Man, I got a ton of questions. I'm probably forgetting some, but let me pause to kind of let everybody who is maybe joined in the middle of us talking. Right now, we're talking about how to leverage Amazon, and it's super exciting information. Sam has given us a boatload of information that you guys will be able to use to set up your Amazon stores and really make some good money. So if you're joining us, we're talking about how to leverage Amazon. If you have a question, I see we have a good crowd. Hey, Mia. Hey, Jessica, Melissa, Cindy, everybody who's joining us. We see you. Pop your questions in the chat. If you do have a question, I'll get them over to Sam. Sam, so with the FBA model, it sounds like all you're doing is, I'm sure you pay some type of fee, but you're sending it to Amazon and they ship it for you, but they don't have any, they don't get a percentage of the sale outside of the fee that you use them to ship the product, correct?
So when we're in the third party world, and I'll just flip to this next slide so you can just see it because it's the same for FBM and FBA. So I've created 2 P&Ls, one for FBM, one for FBA. Please, use it, rip it and repeat it and create your own P&L off of it. But this is how a P&L would flow for FBM. So at the top line, your revenue is your sales price. It's not a wholesale relationship. Your revenue is what the consumer's paying it, just like they would on Shopify. We can charge for shipping. So that's another revenue line. So if you wanted to charge for some shipping to offset your shipping costs, you can do that. But to answer your question, Jaron, we pay Amazon, of course, requires a pay to play fee. That is the same for anybody who's selling on Amazon. And it's a percentage of your retail price at an item level basis. It's 15% above $15. It's 8% below $15. So if your SRP is $10, you pay 8% $10. That's just for the pleasure of being on the site. They take that pay to play tax basically when you're selling. So that's FBM and FBA. Those are line items. So you do pay a fee. And then if you look at the FBA, and I can go back and, just to show here. So if you go back to this, if you think about the FBA P&L, we have a couple of additional line items here that are fees where it would mimic a 3PL structure where you're paying your 3PL to fulfill items. You have to pay for space in the P&L. So there's a monthly storage fee. It's usually very inexpensive, but you're renting space in their fulfillment center. And so we have to pay for that. And then this is the big one. It's the Amazon fulfillment fee that you're alluding to, Jaron, where we have to pay for Amazon to handle, pick, pack, and ship the item, essentially, is what that is. It's an umbrella fee. And so when you start thinking about and there's an Amazon FBA calculator through Seller Central. Again, I'll link it, but it's a really great tool to go just test if your item is going to be profitable or not. This is based on dimensions of the item. So when you think about e-commerce item level economics, if you're going to be unprofitable on Amazon selling 3P FBA, it's going to be because of this line item, most likely. And it's, if you're trying to ship, if I was going to ship a case of canned water and each can is only going to retail for $3, this can weighs a lot, and it weighs, the dimensions are such that that FBA fee is probably going to be at a minimum $5. And so before any other fee, before my cost, before any marketing, I'm already unprofitable if I'm trying to sell something that is heavy and inexpensive. On the other hand, the best e-commerce item would be something that is incredibly small and incredibly expensive. The unit economics are going to work much more in your favor there. So that's the Amazon fulfillment fee within FBA.
Okay. Okay, so I guess it's all about knowing your numbers, though, when it comes to something like that. I mean, you can still win. You have to add that in. I mean, if your market's willing to pay it, but add that in, and margins might be tight, but you can still have a winning, equation in this situation.
Absolutely. So if I'm a brand and I'm doing this, I'm setting up a P&L by item using these inputs. You have your sales price. You can decide what you want. There's no shipping. You don't charge for shipping here because Amazon's handling all the fulfillment. So you know your sales price. Amazon is, what they're going to take. It's going to be 15% above $15, 8% below. And then this line item here, that link to the Amazon FBA calculator that we'll send out, that's how you can get the number for this. It's based on your item dimensions. So if you know your item dimensions, that's all you need to know for Amazon to calculate what the fulfillment fee is going to be. Monthly storage fee is small. That'll also come out in that FBA calculator. And then shipping to Amazon, we usually use our company 1% to 2% of SRP is usually what we just plug in. It's usually really inexpensive. And then you need to add in your own COGS here. Windsor is a brand that I was working with. Sorry, I should have dropped that out. But you add in your own COGS plus the fulfillment fee to get to your net income and look at what your seller proceeds would be from an Amazon business.
Okay. So yeah, to just reiterate with everybody, these are all things you want to probably try to consider before you hit the go button. Because again, like Sam said, if you're selling maybe that can, depending on what you got the can for, can of water, it may not be viable for your business at this point. But there is a way to win. Just make sure that you understand your numbers first.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we put this up front. Operations and financials. Those are the two things to get into before you go any further on Amazon to make sure, are you going to make money and can you scale your business? I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. Just FBM and FBA, this deck will go out and you can grab these two P&Ls. You'll see the different line items there that are making up the item level P&L. But I added a section here that's because we've come to a decision point now. So if you've set up your account and you're looking across your catalog and you're trying to say, can I make money and can I fulfill and how I'm going to fulfill? We want to make that decision on how you're going to fulfill so that we can move forward. And so I've attached some things, some questions for you to think through. What are your fulfillment capabilities currently? If you're fulfilling direct to consumer and you're really good at it, and you could say, I have a unique product that doesn't have a lot of competition on the site, certainly doesn't have other people selling the exact same product where I'm going to be competing for the buy box with them. Maybe FBM could work for you. We have some brands that, are selling. One is selling, it's an item called, it's a Robo litter box that retails for like $700. It's a pretty unique product. It's expensive. They have a big business going fulfilled by merchant because there's not a lot of competition. And if you can scale up your operation currently, that is similar to how you're fulfilling for direct consumer, maybe that's a good option for you. FBA, if prime designation is important for you, which I think everyone should consider, or at least think that it probably is, can you fulfill FBA? Can you label individual products? Because Amazon's going to have a label for you that you're going to have to put on the product in addition to your product label. And then can you ship in cases? Could you ship in pallets to the Amazon fulfillment centers? And then the next one down is around resources to do that. I mean, do you need to consider additional resources? Can your current warehouse handle scaling up? If you're at $20,000, this year, can you be at, $1 million next year? What's it going to take resource wise for you to scale to that position? And then, and that could look like your own warehouse staff. That can look like 3PL partners. There are lots of options there. And then, of course, most important, are you even going to make money from the beginning? And I attach those P&Ls so you can work through a financial exercise to see if you'll be profitable or not. Okay.
Sorry to
I'll
ask.
go.
Is this, I know because you see the P&L, but the Amazon calculator, well, you said you'll send it out. So these are all things, I guess on the they have a back end side for sellers, potential sellers, to go in and work through all of this. I would definitely assume.
Yeah. So during the account setup, what you'll see is these things will come. If you set up an item, it's going to require you to input the dimensions. It's going to require you to input your selling price, and then it's going to calculate all those things for you. You can do these exercises, these P&L exercises, without setting up an account.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the inputs where you're not going to have just immediate information for are these two line items here. And those we can get through the FBA calculator. So you can do this financial exercise before you even set an account up if you're kind of questioning if Amazon's even right for you and you want to look at the numbers first. These things all do flow, once the account is set up. You'll see what your fees are. If a consumer orders a product, you'll get charged those fees every 2 months or every 2 weeks when they send you the remit statement. So, and they take those fees just from accounting purposes. If anyone is curious, Amazon sends a remit statement every 2 weeks, and the fees are deducted from your revenue. So that's how that works. All right, I am gonna jump to the more fun stuff if that's good. If no questions on the financial and operational implications.
Yeah, no questions. Yeah, we'll let you go ahead and roll. I know we got about 15 more minutes here.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got an account set up. We know we're going to make money. We know how we're going to get product to the consumer. What's the next step? We need to build our brand on the site, and we need to drive visibility, drive eyeballs to our product where it's relevant, where consumers are searching, so that we can get that flywheel turning. So the first and most important is your product detail page. Your product detail page is where conversion is going to happen. Your product detail page is what a consumer will land on once they click your product in search, and then they'll make it to your product detail page. I've attached a brand that we work with. This is a fully optimized product detail page with a fully built out title that is shoppable, but also laden with keywords. There was a period of time where it was gamify and add as many keywords as possible. It doesn't matter if it's readable. That's not the case anymore. You need something readable for the consumer with your heavy hitting attributes up front. Fully built out image carousel with 6 to 8 images, a video, We have the variations set up here. You can see the colors. We have a Amazon's Choice badge for this keyword, which is great. We have 22,000 4.5-star reviews. Crucial for the success of a product is early review generation. You have to get reviews. Amazon has a Vine program, Amazon Vine, where you can ship products through the Vine system, and you have to pay to ship the product, and you're giving a product away for free, but the reviews that come from that are free from a Vine reviewer. You need 1 to 5 reviews very quickly in order. That's going to kill you on relevancy if you don't have any. You can see our price here, shipped and sold by Amazon. That's the first party I was mentioning, just for reference. This is the link to the brand store. Visit the Thermacell store. We'll talk about that. We have infographics in our image carousel. We're educating visually. I'll show you that on the next slide. And we have fully built out bullets and description that are search engine optimized, SEO. So thinking about the consumer, then you've got a consumer, you're showing up in search, and we're going to talk about advertising here in a second. So let's say we have a consumer who's clicked through to your detail page. You need to tell them that you're the best product, you're better than their competition, and that they need to convert on your product. What we're seeing now is a shift in the market where it used to be that, the bullets and the written content was incredibly important. We're seeing consumers shop visually now. People are used to swiping with their thumbs. People are shopping visually through your image carousel. So old guard would have told you need to make your product look like it's on a shelf or someone's turning it in your hand. That is not the case anymore. Think about the infographics of your image carousel as, how can I communicate 90% of what a consumer needs to know to make a purchase in the infographics before they read anything about the product? So here's a great example. This is a product. The first photo always has to be product on a white background. So that's always going to be your hero image. But then it's what's in the box. What's the consumer getting? How does it work? What are the steps to use it? What are some helpful tips? Definitely throw a lifestyle image or 2 into those, add some value there on where they can use it and what are some benefits of the product. And then Amazon requires a scale shot as well, so consumers can see how big the product is. So again, learning here is communicate visually, give the consumer 85-90% of the information they need to make a purchase decision in your images that you load to the site. Branded opportunity on the product detail page below the fold, we would call it. If you scroll down, you can see a from the manufacturer section. You've probably seen it on Amazon Shopping. This is called A+ content. This is an opportunity to bring the consumer into your brand on the detail page. What's your brand about? What's the product that they're looking at about? You can show other products in your catalog and do a comparison chart that says, these products are for different uses. Lifestyle images, branded content. This is where you can bring a consumer into your brand. Absolutely utilize this space. It's legitimacy to the consumer. Also a great way to educate the consumer on who you are as a brand. Just a couple.
This is below the fold, right? So scrolling on down the page here.
Correct. Yeah. Before reviews, but below the bullets and description is where this content lives. Really nice on mobile. The look now is kind of more of a cohesive, almost like a poster that you're scrolling. It's kind of a long infographic. So definitely important to include. Also in the brand space is your brand store. That link lives in the byline below your product, under the title of your product on the product detail page. This is the back end where you build the store. You build it in the Amazon advertising console. But this is where Amazon is doing something interesting, where they are, and I have it on the next slide too, but they are putting in the hands of the brand more of a direct consumer experience where you can kind of build out almost like your Shopify store here. You can have collections in the drop down. If you've got, for our soap company, we would have goat milk soap, we would have sugar scrub, we would have whipped body butter, we would have shaving soap. Those would be our different sections. The drop downs kind of like our direct consumer. And you can really move consumers from product to product, educate them on your brand here. Other benefits of this is definitely space to storytell more so than the product detail page. And when we're talking about advertising, when you think about there's one ad unit, the sponsored brand that shows up at the top of the page. It's a banner ad. that links to your brand store. And so there's benefit there too.
So this isn't outside of Amazon. That's a website almost inside of Amazon.
That's correct. So if you clicked visit the Thermacell store, it would take you to the brand store on Amazon.
Within Amazon, not your personal website.
Nope, not your personal website. Amazon hates anything, in fact, forbids anything that could move you
move outside of
website.
their,
Yeah, even any content that says, hey, if you need help, contact us at thermacell.com, that will get rejected. You won't be able to put that on the site. But they give you this opportunity to build your own brand store within the site that kind of mimics a direct to consumer experience a little bit.
That's cool. Okay. All right.
Interesting thing here, other brand building things they're doing, they're kind of creating this brand ecosystem where your brand store, you're now able to do Amazon posts that look like Instagram posts that show up in search, kind of lifestyle images, again, very nice and branded. You do that through the Amazon ad console, and then you're able to build subscribers. People can subscribe to your brand. They can follow your brand from your brand store and be the first ones to know about a deal that you're going to run, or, a promotion or a new product that you're going to launch. And so those are other things in this kind of brand building ecosystem to consider, things that are worth going and searching on Amazon, Seller Central, Seller University. There's plenty of content on how to do these things, but definitely keep them in your back pocket. Okay, last section here is demand generation. So, you think about everything we've done. We know that we're going to be profitable. We have an account set up. We know how we're going to fulfill. We know that we can scale operationally. We built our listings. We built our brand. Now we need to drive eyeballs to our product. Amazon is a search denominated platform. Amazon keywords that consumers are searching is what's driving what's showing up. And so as an advertiser, you need to think about what are those keywords that are relevant to your product, but also are relevant to what consumer search is. There are plenty of tools to look at consumer search, Jungle Scout, Helium 10, even within Amazon, there's Amazon search terms in Seller Central and the brand analytics portion. All of those will tell you how consumers are searching. We want to be there when consumers search our product. Remember, credit cards are out. They're ready to buy. They're there to buy something. They're not just having fun on Amazon. And so we need to,
Sam,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Do those third-party platforms that you just named, they tell you what, like if you have a certain product, like for instance, candles, they tell you what people are like inputting so that you can get to the top type of deal?
Yeah, so you could see, like, if I wanted to look up candles and see how consumers are searching, I could see that people, maybe the most search relevant term in that group of terms would be pumpkin spice candle or something right now. And so I could see, that's really relevant. So I'm going to advertise on pumpkin spice candle so that I can put my candle brand up there. Even if it's not pumpkin spice, you're trying to get visibility for your brand. And so I'm going to buy an ad or I'm going to place a bid on that term that's going to put my product up in search. So yes, those platforms will give you a list. They'll show you average cost per click, how hard it is to rank on those terms based on competition, all those things.
Okay, gotcha.
So driving visibility so that we can drive click-through rate, so that we can drive glance views, conversion, and reviews. It all starts with advertising. Amazon is a pay-per-click advertising platform where you place bids on terms, just like Google. There are 4 main ad groups here. The first is sponsored product. That is what Amazon started with. It looks like a search result. So if someone searches for paint roller, you can see that the top 1, 2, 3 here are all sponsored. These are people who are paying to be at the top of search when someone searches for paint roller. It usually is the most dynamic and the least expensive of all the ad groups, and definitely a starting place when you're thinking about building out your ad campaigns to go with sponsored product. The second is sponsored brand. Great visibility, huge real estate. At the very top of the page is the banner with your logo and 3 products that it shows, and then you can link it to your brand store. You can link it to the landing pages for each individual product. This is a great demand driver. There's also a metric new to brand that you're able to see from consumers who are engaging with your brand through this ad unit. There's sponsored video, not a picture of it here, but sponsored brand video it's expensive, but it's a video that you can put in search. It takes up the entire width of the page on mobile and on desktop. And so it's, amazing visibility. It's captivating, short 15-second, 20-second video, nothing longer than that, but, get consumers understanding your brand. And then sponsored display, which ends up on your product detail pages or your competitors. So you can put your product on a competitor's page. You can pay for that spot as well. Again, everything is search denominated. I know we're running up on time here, so I'll be real quick. So thinking through advertising again, high level, pay-per-click. Amazon offers automated campaigns. We would suggest starting all automated, so that Amazon is casting a very wide net of keywords so that you can see what works, what doesn't. You have to input the budget that you want to spend on a daily basis. And then from the automatic campaigns, you can start to hone in what keywords are best to drive your manual campaigns. So in general, that first 6 months of advertising, we're projecting it's probably going to be 10 to 20% of sales is going to be driven by ad, or is going to be dumped into ad spend to drive visibility. We're driving visibility, we're gaining relevancy. That's the goal. It's likely not going to be super profitable. It's going to be an investment, but it's what is needed to turn the flywheel, so that we can start reducing that percent of sales that ad spend makes up over time. Category keywords, sponsored product, lower cost ad types, and auto campaigns. Growth phase, hopefully we're down to around 10% of sales at that time. We're driving share of shelf when someone is searching for paint rollers. Our paint rollers are showing up across Amazon on that page. We have a significant percentage of ownership. We are trying to grow organic sales. So we have items that are gaining relevancy organically that we don't have to pay for anymore. We're doing more branded keywords, more competitive keywords, competitor keywords, and we're working across multiple ad types. And then hopefully the maintenance, the ongoing, you're scaled, you're working 2 to 5% of sales ongoing is your ad spend. And we're really driving ownership of a category. We're growing the category, expanding keywords, and we're doing some upper funnel targeting. So rough outline as you're thinking about budgeting and the investment it might take, this is how we think about it.
Got it. So once you get rolling, it's you spend less and less, it seems like.
Yes. Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is get people to know your brand so that they're going and searching. They're not searching canned water anymore. They're searching liquid death. And I get to pay a lot less for that sale when someone knows that they're searching for my brand. They're not just searching for a category term.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Man, that's great. Go ahead. I don't think we have any questions that come in, but if you do have a last minute question, pop it in now. We're about to wrap it up here. But this has been great, Sam, man. I'm blown away.
Yeah, lots of info, lots of detail we're not able to get into, but just real quick, I mean, there's always issues, there will be issues. Items will get suppressed, titles will get messed up, your images will fall off the site. I mean, stuff goes wrong, shipments are going to get held up. Here's a list of places to go. Seller Central, contact us. That's in the Seller Central portal. Go there first, work with their seller help team. Seller University is their whole book of resources. So much good information. It's free within Seller Central. Amazing information there. There's seller forums that you can get to through Seller Central, and there's Seller Central groups on LinkedIn and Facebook that people are throwing their problems in and everyone's helping solve them. And so there's a community of resources out there and resources that are free for help when you need them. So that's it. Here's my once again, shamelessly, email, phone number, hit me up. Would love to meet up or talk. And hopefully be of some help.
Man, very cool. Yeah, for those watching, utilize the resources that are being provided for you. If you are looking to start an Amazon store, or if you're like, man, I don't know if Wix or Shopify is for me, I'd rather pop it on Amazon and let them do some of the legwork. This is a phenomenal tool, and I'm talking about Sam providing this entire PowerPoint to just give us some insight on what it looks like to set up an Amazon store. No questions have come in just yet, but Sam has his email up here, his phone number. Sam, did you have anything else you wanted last minute?
No, that's it. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, let me know how I can help.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Pop me back on the as the host, and then I'll
Yep.
wrap this up. But everybody, don't forget November 10th, script to screen, red carpet premiere going on at Studio 615. Also, November 15th, Academy graduation. Our Academy students are ready to start rolling with their businesses. So come out, cheer them on, and it's gonna be a party. You'll see well, one person you will see dancing on the stage is probably Shayna. I don't know if I'll be doing it, but Shayna will be dancing. Marcia will be dancing. I might dance a little bit, and we'll get some of our guests to dance with us. So come out, enjoy it. Thanks for hopping on today's Lunch and Learn. I am shutting it down. We will see y'all later. Give me 1 second, Sam.